What's up guys, it's the Connor Mack Show, and today we're going to break down Belgium's golden generation, whether or not they've been a disappointment, or if their results have been something to be proud of, because Belgium are in the waning years of their so-called golden generation, and while the level of talent at their disposal the past 8 years is remarkable given their relatively small population to their European rivals, one has to question whether or not what they've accomplished with that talent has been up to par. There are two sides to every argument, and the first is that despite their talent, poor management has caused them to exit tournaments earlier than they should. The other side, the more optimistic glass half full view, is the fact that they are only the 8th nation since FIFA rankings came out in 1992 to be ranked number 1 in the world. They've actually done it twice and held on to the spot for longer than you think. The first period was November 2015 to March 2016, and the later was September 2018 to the present. While FIFA rankings aren't the end-all be-all and they're often confusing because they don't take head-to-head results in major tournaments into account, it's still impressive. And despite a consensus that France, who beat Belgium in the World Cup semifinals, is the best team in the world, FIFA still has Belgium ranked number 1 because on average, they accumulate the best results in international friendlies, Euro and World Cup qualifiers, and Nations League games. The margin is very close, and many people think that because of this ranking compared to their lack of silverware, that Belgium is a tad overrated. Belgium's last 3 major tournaments, the 2014 and 18 World Cups and the 16 Euros, has seen 2 quarterfinal exits to Argentina and Wales, and a 3rd place finish in the 2018 World Cup after losing to France and then beating England in the 3rd place game. While this was still a historic achievement and warranted a parade, the picture still seems incomplete with this group. Yes, they do dominate qualifying and friendly cycles, which plays into the ranking, but a prior loss to Wales in a 2015 Euro qualifier foreshadowed their exit to them in the 16 Euros and caused a shift from a 4-2-3-1 and 4-3-3 systems to playing a back 3 with 3 excellent central defenders in Vertonghen, Alderweireld, and Vincent Kompany. This also took advantage of their attacking talent with Romelu Lukaku, Dries Mertens, and Eden Hazard being features in a midfield with Axel Witsel and Kevin De Bruyne. They had a great next 2 years and had a 22-match unbeaten run that carried into a semi-final against France. Roberto Martinez showed great tactical awareness in what felt like a breakthrough moment against Japan when his side were down 2-0 and switched out of the back 3 when the flanks were getting exposed. What followed was the biggest win in Belgium's history when they beat Brazil 2-1, and by unlucky circumstance, they saw Croatia, a nation of 4 million, do more with less due to an easier bracket draw and had to live with that 3rd place finish. Whether or not you view this as a disappointment is a matter of opinion, but you also must consider what Belgium was before this golden generation came about. Their first run of success on the international level was a period of 1980 to 1986 under manager Guy Thies, when they finished runners-up in an old 8-team European Championship format in 1980, losing to West Germany in the final. In the 1986 World Cup in Mexico, Belgium achieved a 4th place finish, which at that point was their best ever. But when you remove the 3rd place 1972 Euro finish in which there are only 4 teams, Belgium's history in both competitions features several lengthy droughts in not only getting out of the group, but qualifying at all. Between 1988 and 2012, Belgium qualified for the Euros just once, when they co-hosted with the Netherlands in 2000, which saw them exit in the group stage. While they fared better in World Cup qualification, they never got past the round of 16 from 1990 to 2002, and missed the 2006 and 2010 World Cups entirely. Belgium fell as low as 71st in the FIFA rankings in June 2007, and would hover in the 30s and 40s for much of the early 2010s. When you view it that way, what they've achieved since then can be argued to be quite remarkable. The big turnaround started when players like Kompany, Vertonghen, and Moussa Dembele gained experience at the 2008 Summer Olympics, and when Belgium's U17 team in 2007 with Hazard and Christian Benteke were semi-finalists in the European Championship. But it would take until 2014 for them to get out of the grueling UEFA qualifying process for the other tournaments. And what makes their youth development remarkable is that you can argue that they have a top 2 goalkeeper in the world now in Thibaut Courtois, one of the best midfielders in the world in Kevin De Bruyne, and Eden Hazard, when he's in form, could be argued to be anywhere from a top 3 to a top 5 player. I didn't even mention players like Romelu Lukaku, Axel Witsel, Toby Alderweireld, and their other good central defenders, because they've been really good as well, and especially with Romelu Lukaku this year with Inter Milan, probably his best season to date. And again, all this came from a country with just 11 million. It's like being handed a winning lottery ticket with an expiration date, and for Belgium, that ticket is close to expiring. All of their best players are nearing their peak age or slightly past their peak, so 2021 and the 22 World Cup are their last shots for this group of players. The 2020 Euro will be challenging because of De Bruyne's health and Hazard being in poor form due to his time at Real Madrid, but I'd love to see him win it. Looking towards the future, all hope isn't bleak with players like Yuri Tielemans, Jeremy Doku, Jason Denayer, and Yari Verschaeren being some of the names that will lead them into the future, but it could be a very long time before we see Belgium on the brink of a World Cup final again if their history repeats itself. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. It was just a little quick breakdown on Belgium's situation, and as always, recommend content in those comments, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and I'll see you next time.